Do I do 180 for 3 sets of 5, or do I do 160 for 7 sets of 5? What is more beneficial in my mind? I could not convince myself that the less volume is going to be more convincing and more beneficial for me. So I went up to 160. It's feeling off. I don't know why. Maybe it's the running. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's the back dead that I did a few days ago. Probably, most likely. But the low bar is feeling odd. It's not feeling as strong as it was at the start of the last block that I did, which makes me think, what was behind all of that? Maybe, all the other things that I was doing. Anyway, I decided to build up a little lower, so 160, start here. Let's try and get back to a weekly cycle or something like that, because right now we're at 2 weeks, way too, in my opinion, it's too far and too aggressive, too soon, all that stuff. So I did that, and I noticed that the calf wasn't really hurting me much. This morning, I felt it, a bit of a limp this morning. And by the time I warmed up with the squats, it was kind of already gone. So I was like, okay, maybe this is a bit of a warm-up with the calf. It's a isometric contraction of the soleus as well. I mean, if you think about it, if you removed your soleus from the squat, you wouldn't be able to squat. I mean, you would just fall on your face, right? Like, you need the foot to be able to plant a flex, So go better and better and better. And then I finished this and I thought, you know what? I want a little bit more of the posterior chain. And I mean, the 160 for 7 sets of 5 was enough. And I'm like, in the spirit of doing multiple different things for multiple different angles of multiple different muscles, why don't I just do some sumo deadlifts? It's similar to a freaking low bar squat, the way I do it. So why don't I do that and just, go up to like maybe 3 sets of 3, 190, something like that. I ended up doing that, felt pretty good. I dropped it to 150. I did a set, and then immediately, I was like, man, my calf is feeling freaking amazing, man. Let me go for a run. The kids were there. They were like, Dad, let's go for a run. They were kind of in my mind. I want to go for a run. We went for a run. And you'll see the footage of, at the end of this video, I speak about it live. You'll see me speaking in the video. But it went really well. Like, I was really surprised by the whole thing. And so, yes, sure, you can do calf raises. One of you guys mentioned this to me. The calf raises, before you go for a run. Get some blood in there. It makes perfect sense to me. But if you think of the totality of what's happening when you squat, when you deadlift, man, what isn't working? So my conclusion is that strain yesterday felt terrible, man. Like, it felt like somebody shot me with a knife in the back of the freaking lower portion of the calf. This morning kind of felt sore, limited range of motion, and by the time I started moving, it felt a little bit better. So what's happening here? It's a strain. Is it not a strain? But it felt better. And so straight away in my mind, I'm like, I think I need more posterior chain. Sure, I can break it down into small parts like calf raises and seated calf raises and all that stuff. But when you do good mornings, when you do squats, when you do deadlifts, sumo deadlifts, all that stuff, you are really using the soleus in its kind of intended purpose of what we're trying to do here. And so one of you fellas actually said it. You're like, one of the best things for a soleus strain is bent knee calf raises. And I was like, bent knee calf raises? What if I did bent knee hip extension and use the hamstrings and the calves and all? Shit, that's like a deadlift or a squat, isn't it? You're bending your knee and you are pressing into the floor. It's not like all of the pressure is going to the heel and there is no pressure on the calves. In fact, for me, the way I squat, I shift my weight onto the calves so much. So why don't I do this? And then, kind of one thing led to another. I ended up doing it, and I ended up pulling a whole bunch of weight. So that side of stuff is really interesting. And the other side of it all, in my mind, was I ended up doing 5 sets of 600-meter runs. So that's 3K. I don't think I've ever done a run like this. I mean, I've been fitter before, obviously, with basketball, but I don't think I've ever done a fairly good run after a leg day, after volume on squats. I am truly interested to see how my DOMs are. Last time I did heavy squats, low bar, dude, I was sore, 2 weeks. I haven't done that for 2 weeks. I'm back now. I'm really interested to see what a run after a leg day feels like. Lots of blood went through the legs. I'm really interested if this is going to work. Obviously, running is a different idea when it comes to strength training. I don't think too many strong people actually run at all. Probably none of them. I don't think strong men do any of this like jogging business. I might be wrong. But I feel like it's not something they do. I think they do a lot of farmers carries and like walking events, but running, going for a jog, I don't know, probably not. But for me, I want to do this right now. If it ends up being a cut, so be it. But I'm really intrigued the way squats feel after a run. And that to me is really interesting because my hips feel amazing. And what's happened now, the hips are feeling amazing. Now the calf is, it's always freaking some shit around the corner, man. Anyway, I feel like I'm going to work the calf out, but the hips are not a problem at all. You hearing this from me, you need to understand that this is very near dear to my heart. The hips are feeling amazing. The runs are making my hips amazing. This is profound to me. Of course, the adductor machine is amazing for me as well. But the runs, man, they do something very interesting. I did adductors to warm up for the low bar squats, and I finished off with a run, 3K run. Anyway, watch the rest of the video of my thoughts as I was going along. Keep rolling, keep rolling. All right, should we go for a run?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go for a run now. My posterior chain is warmed up. The calf feels not too bad. So let's go for a run and let's see when we get back. All right, so that last run went pretty good. No calf pain at all. This time around, I just heel strike the whole way through. So there was no on the toes at all. It was all heels to prevent that shock absorption. I think a couple things here. So bunch of squats, a bunch of deadlifts, warmed up the posterior chain, and I think that had something to do with the soleus getting warmed up as well. I had intentions of doing calf raises to start the run, but instead of that, I'm going to kind of just throw these in, set of 5 sumos. It's a isometric contraction of the calves and the soleus particularly. And I think that's doing something as well. So I'm feeling great, so I'm going to go another run. But first, let's get another set of this, another set of 5. And then the camera girl is going to put the phone down and we'll go for another run.
Yep.
All right.
Off we go.
Another set of 5 here. Okay, babe. That's it. Let's go for a run. So that second run, there was a little bit of pain. So halfway through that second run, I felt the left calf go again. I think the reason for that is because we picked up the pace. When I say we, the kids join me on these runs, I picked up the pace. And so when you pick up the pace in a run, you inherently, at least I do, you start to strike with your kind of more front of the foot, like a forefoot. And for whatever reason, that bit of structure, that bit of tissue is just not capable of taking that pressure. The shock absorption is not good. So he went, and immediately straight after that, I started striking with my heel, and I was able to finish the whole thing. So we'll go again, and this time I'm just going to heel strike the whole way through because I simply cannot take that. If I knew this yesterday, I probably would have gone for another run. And I would have just slowed down the pace. So slow pace, heel striking, I can run. Anything a bit faster, the calves just go. So anyway, let's do I think this is the number 3rd set. This seems to be helping it somewhat. Do another set of 5 here, and then we'll go again. All right, so that was the 3rd run. maybe 1 out of 10 discomfort, but really, really doable. So I think I've broken through something when it comes to this. I think I can run. I can run every day if I wanted to. If that's something that I choose to do, I can do it. But you just have to be, a number of weeks, probably months of conditioning that soleus, that tendinous tissue, which is that bridge between the Achilles and the calf, and I don't know what that fusion is called. There's a name for it, I'm sure, where the Achilles fuses with the gastroc soleus complex. When I strained my calf on the treadmill, it was exactly that same spot, maybe a bit more towards the back. This is kind of more medial side. So it just needs to get conditioned. And so heel striking is something that I don't particularly like doing, because that shock absorption then goes up the chain. And I feel like if you're really athletic, which I'm clearly not, those guys tend to be more forefoot based. Like if you're heel striking, then you're going to be what they call in basketball flat-footed, or just in sports, you become flat-footed. You want to be on your toes. I want to be on my toes during these runs, but the tissue is not ready, which is perfectly, understandable. Me spending 10 plus years of not really focusing on running at all or anything athletically, and just moving heavy weight is a completely different ballgame. So this is good. This is really good. I'm just happy I can do it, because if yesterday's strain was long-standing, then I'd be upset. But no calf raises, no nothing, just posterior chain work. And if you think to yourself that the soleus is not involved in the posterior chain, like the soleus is not part of the posterior chain, it's all connected, man. It's all the same thing. So do any sort of pulling, even good mornings or RDLs or anything like that has you on your feet. It works the posterior chain quite well, and it translates quite well, I think, to what I'm trying to do. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. It's probably a long video. We'll go for another couple of runs, I think. And then I'll leave it probably for the rest of the week. I don't know. We'll see. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.